afternoon, Enmore Park members. Welcome to the start of another week and another lockdown lesson. As promised, we are going to look at putting, which is probably the most important part of the game, which is why quite a few of you have emailed asking questions about it. It's certainly the club that you use the most. For me, there's 4 parts to putting that you kind of need to have in place if you're going to have a good chance of holing a particular putt. We want to look at our setup and a little bit of the stroke itself, and we're also just going to give you a couple of drills to work on as well. So one of the questions that I was asked first really was about the grip. Now, the purpose of the putting grip is all it's trying to do is control the putter face. That's all we want to do. We want to be in control of this face so it's not moving around too much, it's not wobbling about. If you watch golf on TV, you will see a multitude of different grips. You will see players hold it in a very conventional way, left hand at the top, right hand underneath for a right-handed golfer. You'll see kind of left below right. You might see what they call a claw grip or pencil grip. You'll see some players with longer putters and they kind of hold it up their left forearm. But ultimately, all they're trying to do is control this putter face through the hitting area. They don't want to see a lot of rotation. And also, in terms of how hard you hold it, if 10 is gripping the absolute life out of the putter, you probably want to be a 7 or an 8. You've got to be in control of the putter. We don't want it moving in our hands like this. I think a lot of players, certainly beginners that I've given lesson to, almost hold it so lightly I could almost snatch it out of their hand. So you've got to be in control of the putter. In terms of the rest of our setup, so what are we looking for? Width of stance, again, is a personal preference. You can have a wide stance, a narrow stance with your feet together. Personally, I quite like my feet to be forward and about hip width apart. Ball position within that is slightly to the left of middle. We certainly don't want it on our back foot because we definitely do not want to be hitting down because that will make the ball jump. We're looking for a ball position that allows this putter head to contact the ball almost on the way up. I mean, almost on the way up, so the ball's kind of rolling forward straight off the putter face. Looking kind of from the side-on view, we want to be forward enough from our hips to allow our arms to hang in front of us. We definitely don't want locked arms, and we also definitely don't want our arms to be up like this. If your putter's quite long and you're up in this position, you'll tend to see players kind of doing this with their wrists, where we want our arms to hang nice and natural, and ideally getting our eyes over the top of the ball. I tend to like a putter that's probably slightly shorter than what you might think is normal, again to allow our arms to hang naturally, and we're looking for a nice pendulum motion where the shoulders are doing the work. So if I'm gripping it a 7 or 8 out of 10, this allows this triangle with my arms and my shoulders to be maintained and control the putter face, and therefore control the length of backswing and through swing, which kind of takes us on to our next point really in terms of distance control. Ultimately, it's the speed that's going through when you hit the ball. So how fast is that putter head moving as it strikes the ball? That's ultimately what controls the distance. Now, there is a few different ways that you can make the putter move. You'll see some players have quite a short backswing and really hit it. You'll see some have a very long backswing and are almost slowing down. Ultimately, they might still reach the same mile-an-hour speed as they hit the ball, but if you look at, say, the swings on a park and how they move in terms of their rhythm, backwards and forwards, that's ideally what you're looking for in your putting stroke. So we're looking for a nice pendulum motion. And if I have a short putt, it's a short backswing and through swing, so a nice pendulum motion. And if I have a longer putt, I'm just lengthening it up. That's all we're looking for, nice and simple. The other thing I would say in terms of the setup in our technique, you notice hopefully that my hips aren't moving too much. We've definitely got no lower body movement. The more still you can keep the lower half, the better. A good little drill for that, if you have an alignment rod, is to stick it through your belt hoops like this, and this will give you then instant feedback. So when I'm making a putting stroke, if I'm seeing this moving around too much, I'll be able to see it. We're ideally trying to keep this as still as possible. It's a good little drill. Also, it allows you to see if your hips are square as well to the target. So that's our setup. Okay, so in terms of practice drills, probably the best drill is what we call the string drill. Now, if you're on the golf course, you would have maybe 2 6-inch nails and maybe 8 to 10 foot of string. You'd place one nail behind the hole, and then the other nail would be 8 or 10 foot back from that, picking a straight putt. We're indoors, obviously, so you can take I've got 2 glasses here with some string taped to the top. We're taking a golf ball, putting it straight under the line, under the string. So that string dissects the middle of the ball. And then this is brilliant because this does a lot of our setup for us. So this is now allowing me to go look straight over the top of the ball. I can see if my feet are parallel to the string. I can also check within that my ball position. Okay, so my arms are hanging nicely. Now what we're looking for here is the ball coming off the putter face square. So if I have an open club face, therefore the club face is pointing to the right for the right-handed golfer, I will see that instantly because the ball will go to the right. Obviously the opposite of that would be if the club face is closed, it would go left. And ideally, we're trying to get one down the middle, so we're looking to get this ball coming off the putter face exactly where I'm aiming, back, through. Oh, I had a slightly open club face there. Let's have one more go. Little adjustment, back, through a little better. Still some room for improvement, clearly. So there's definitely 4 aspects of putting that we're looking at. We've looked at our setup and we've looked at how the ball comes off the putter face. We've looked at how we control the speed in terms of our length of swing, back and through, nice pendulum motion. The other 2 ones are slightly trickier, so that's in terms of green reading. That's something that you pick up over time and with lots of practice. There are some courses that you can go to that help with green reading. I think Alex might be doing one of those later on in the summer. And then the last one really is the alignment. If you look at most golf balls nowadays, they all have some sort of lining implement. I tend to either draw a line on the ball or I use the small writing of the ball. So we've got Titleist written there and then we've got the small writing on the ball. I will actually use that to line up my putt. So whatever line I've chosen, if my ball marker is on the floor and putting towards the camera, I will actually get the small writing lined up with where I want the ball to start. And therefore, and I'll also check it as well. So I'll come back, make sure it's in line with where I want it to go to. Then I can take my setup. Most putters again have a line on top of the putter to help us with our alignment. So I'm trying to get the line of my putter in line with the line of the ball. And therefore I know I'm aiming exactly where I want the ball to start. So can I just get that ball coming off the putter face, nice and square and running, and off we go. I hope a few of these tips help. If you can get the string and the glass set up, honestly, 10 minutes of that a day will massively improve your putting. If you have any further questions, then please send an email to pro@enmillpark.co.uk and hopefully have a good afternoon, and we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.